Hello, in this video we're going to get our Windows 10 machine, which is currently bridged to an external network interface card, which we've previously VPN'd through to our ADSL. We're going to achieve the same sort of thing using port forwarding. So what we're going to do is create pinholes in our firewall and port forward the particular ports that we need back to our web server in order for our Windows 10 machine to be able to open emails. So this is not VPNing into the internal network. This is merely looking at the front interface and having the router port forward the traffic through to a specific server. So it's a very unusual way to do things, and it's a little bit dangerous in that it reveals this web server to the outside network. So it's like it's creating a pinhole through our firewall. That's what it's really doing. So anyway, the technique's called port forwarding. So what we're going to do is here's our Windows 10 machine, which if we have a quick look at its IP address, we can see that it's got a 47 subnet, which means it's external. It's got an IP address from out here, from the 47 NAS box 47.1. It's given an IP address, it's got DHCP on it. So it's given out an IP address to this Windows 10 machine. Likewise, we've got a 47.x IP address on the front interface card of our ADSL. So have a quick check of that. And we can see that on the Ether00 interface just to the right of the cursor here, it's got a dynamic IP address of 47.216, which it's also gotten from the NAS box, being a DHCP server. So they're both on the same subnet with this 47 subnet. So we've got a physical machine and we've got giving an IP address out to these two virtual machines. They're in the same subnet, and we've created a VPN tunnel there. Now we're going to use port forwarding. So what we need to do is web browse into our ADSL using our server A and set up the port forwards so that it port forwards back to our server B for web type traffic. So what we'll do is we'll go into server A, open up our browser, web browse into 192.168.10.1, and we'll just continue to that website. Log in as admin, and the place we need to go to is, if we go to router, is this thing called virtual server. So we've used RIP, we've used NAT, now we're using virtual server. And what we can do here is put some rules in, and we're going to be doing some port forwarding. Okay, so what we're going to do is for the outside interface from any IP address, if it receives a TCP packet with a local port number of 443, then we want it to send it to an internal 192.168.10.3, which is our web server, port 443. So we add that rule in, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so now what we'll do is go to our Windows 10 machine, and we'll open up another tab and go 192.168.47.216, I think is the IP address, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 47.216, okay. Now, 443, and it's not getting there. Okay, now there's a particular reason for this. We need to make sure that we've got exclusions in our browser for anything that starts with a 192. It's likely that that is not there. So if we go to our internet options, look at it, connections and LAN settings, we can see we need to bypass the proxy server for local addresses. So we're going to hit the advanced button now, and for everything that starts with a 192.star, we will ignore the proxy server and go directly to it. Otherwise the traffic goes to the proxy server. So originally we went to there without those rules in place, so the traffic actually went to the proxy server, and the proxy server, well, I don't know how to get to 47.216. But now we've put the exclusion in and it starts with a 192, it should say, okay, let's just go to 47.216. So if we hit the refresh button, you can see that it now goes there. And if we continue to this website, we can see that we've actually got to the web server, which is not on the outside but on the inside of our network. So our port forwarding now works through from 47.216, which is the IP address that I've got in my browser here, via the rules that we've got. It forwards anything with a 443 through to 10.3, which is our web server, and hence we've now got to our web server. So if I log in as GWMP / say doc2 or doc3, okay, oh, something went wrong, couldn't find a mailbox. Okay, so maybe we need to go to one that does have a mailbox. Doc1, sign in, and we've got a mailbox for this one, and we've got emails. It's Doc1. Let's respond to this email. So we've got a hello. Let's open it. And respond. So we go reply. Subject hello. Thanks for the hello. Hello back. Cheers, Doc1. Okay, so we'll send that. And we've got a draft here. So it has not sent. However, I believe that that is an issue for the Exchange server rather than the fact that my port forwarding has worked and I've got in to the Outlook web access on the server. So and it's actually gone now by the looks of it. So if I look at the sent items, yes, it did send it. It just took a bit of time, that's all. So thanks for the hello back. So it did work. Okay, so what we've done is we've used port forwarding on our ADSL modem and set a rule or a pinhole through our firewall for anything that's a HTTPS. We've forced it back to 10.3 internally. And what happens if we get rid of this rule? If we get rid of this rule, then anything that comes on Ether 00 that's 443 will then be processed locally by the ADSL rather than being forced back through to 10.3 and getting to our web server. So we're going to take this rule out just by hitting the minus, removing the rule. So now there's no rules. And what I'm going to do is kill that, and I'm going to open the tab again, and I'm going to put the same thing in, https 192.168.47.216, and now you can see I get to the 0 shell rather than getting to my internal web server. So it's a matter of the rule that we put in place here. If we don't have the rule in, it goes to the local 0 shell. If we do put the rule in, then for that outside interface, then it definitely goes to our internal IP address 192.168.10.3. We put the rule back in. It's a simple thing to do, and then we just hit the refresh button on this, and we get to our internal web server. So it's a fairly simple sort of thing to set. And that's the end of this particular video.